New this morning, the Trump administration is now appealing the ruling that blocked the president's National Guard deployment around Chicago, blocked it for 2 weeks. Another federal judge has blocked agents from using certain crowd control tactics near an ICE facility that's right outside of Chicago. That order came down.
This is huge, by the way. A ruling has come down not on the deployment of the National Guard, but on the behavior of ICE, which is pretty big.
After video surfaced, it was this video of a pastor being hit in the head with pepper balls while praying outside of the site.
Yeah, I meant to talk about this, but I forgot to the other day, or the last day that I streamed. He's a Presbyterian minister who was praying, wasn't around anyone, wasn't doing, like, there was nothing that he was doing that could be constituted as potentially threatening. And what was it? A sniper from the roof shot pepper balls at him and hit him in the forehead. And laughing could be heard from ICE afterwards. They're calling him a woke pastor. Yeah, of course they are. Dude, this is an open letter to Republicans, okay? I am begging you, hat in hand, okay? Please keep doing this. Nothing makes you look better than being so obviously detestable. You're losing. They think it doesn't matter because they think they've already won. To a lot of these retards, they think they've already taken the future, okay? Trump 1, Trump 2, we're deporting a couple thousand people a day. It's over for them. We'll never have to worry about public opinion again. There's a reason they hide behind masks, okay? And they know there would be consequences. They know there will be consequences. Yeah, here's the video. If they keep acting this way, I mean, they're just hastening their own downfall. It's unlawful. They're not legally allowed to do that. It's against the instruction and use of the firearms that they're using. You're not supposed to fire those directly at people's faces. Not that it matters, you know? I saw this the other day. A federal agent points a weapon at a woman who is recording them. Just recording. This is how people are going to remember ICE. And the more they act this way, the more that's going to be the case. These people want to be the SS. These people want to be the Gestapo. They want to be clean, uniformed officers, agents of evil, who go door to door and silently, ruthlessly eliminate all opposition to their political agenda. You know, they want to run people into the death camps. What they are is fat, ugly, poorly trained morons. They are incompetent at every level, and they're also unlikable. And because of modern media, because everyone has a phone camera, we get to see this. They're not like the Gestapo. They're like the brown shirts, and the brown shirts were freaks, and their actions were mythologized after the fact by the German government, in large part because no one was around with phone cameras to take videos of them being belligerent freaks back then. The revolution will not be televised. It's on Twitter. That shit is true. 100%. Anyway, no, it's insane. And they keep doing it, and they're not stopping. And the more they do it, the better it is for us, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like, the fact that they pulled all of these recruits from fascist paramilitaries and are marching them around the country making asses of themselves might be scary now, but there is going to be a reckoning the likes of which none of them are prepared for, and it's all being predicated on the fact that they're just unlikable. They could have gotten away with doing the deportations. The average American is a Hitlerite when it comes to law and order issues, but you cannot get away with driving around major metropolitan areas doing shit like this, shooting pastors in the head, you know, handcuffing naked children and marching them outside. You can't get away with it. The Pope is directly ordering U.S. bishops to fight for migrants right now, making it top priority for the Catholic Church in North America. Based? Is somebody reaping the consequences of very publicly, randomly shooting Christian ministers in the forehead? Are we perhaps making enemies? It is the Pope's city, after all. That is true.
CNN's Whitney Wild is joining us now live near that ICE facility. And what is the latest here? What do we know about what this appeal means, what the judge's order means? What are you hearing?
Well, there are several outstanding questions here, Kate. And the question had been, after this ruling came down, whether or not the National Guard was going to maintain their presence here while this went through appeal. And what you see here, Kate, and I'll just kind of orient you toward the building here, we do not see a single member of the National Guard outside Broadview, although over the last few days that had been visible. Right now, again, we do not see a single member of the National Guard. New this morning, Kate, this fence here has been up since September 22nd. There had been a push by city officials to bring this down. They were concerned that it would impede an emergency response.
Yeah, by the way, ICE just put up a fence on the road. They can't do that. That's city property. It's not, ICE doesn't control that. The federal government can't just annex that. It's not how it works.
There's also concern about, the people who live here, the people who work here, these impositions that DHS has put on the people who have to live and work here every day. A judge just minutes ago ruling that this fence has to come down.
In my opinion, a huge step. I know it sounds relatively trivial, but it's one of the first big notable steps of judges ruling not just against National Guard deployments, which are like this big issue, but more in a more minute sense, like, no, ICE, you actually can't do that. You can't do whatever you want. And every time a judge rules, it gets more and more likely that ICE will openly defy the judge's orders. And the more likely that gets, the more it's going to happen. And the more it happens, the more the pressure is going to build. We already know the Chicago and Broadview police departments don't like ICE. There have been multiple interviews of their police commissioner, of random officers, seeing them get tear gassed. We know they don't appreciate the ICE facility here. Eventually, warrants for arrests are going to be issued. And I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see the cops at Broadview perp walk the ICE, mask off. Some Proud Boy fuck. I want to see them dragged into the fucking police car. Oh, I need it. I need it. I need it so bad. I want it. I want it more than you could possibly imagine. I didn't think it was possible, but conservatism has really set in. The Trump administration is making me love cops.
Sides have until 2 o'clock this afternoon, Central Time, to propose how that's actually going to happen. Back to this ruling on the National Guard. This is a major win for Illinois officials.
I know police v. ICE is the fight of the century, but I really don't think it's going to happen. Remember how Hitlerite cops are? No, we know for a fact, like, the police, at least in these cities, do not like ICE broadly. Keep in mind that ICE is belligerent, untrained, uncooperative, rude, generally unlikable, has no community connections, in many cases isn't even from the state that they're being deployed to, and they're all pedophiles. Yes, thank you, Thana. Whereas only half of police are pedophiles. No, like, the cops might be Hitlerite on their own, but there is a different character here. ICE is not just like cop but federal. These people are actual Hitlerites, okay? These people are like firing at a minister and laughing as he falls to the ground after shooting him in the head for nothing. There is a difference, you know? Yeah, and the police do interpret it as, or they perceive it as ICE like marching in on their turf, yeah.
Here's more from Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul.
I'd like to thank the heroes behind me who have stood up not just for the citizens of the city of Chicago, citizens of the city of Broadview, citizens of the state of Illinois, but I might add that this is an important decision. Not
Mike Johnson taking notes on how to appear convincingly emotional. Jesus Christ. So he's just happy about the lawsuit that's been brought and the judge's ruling
for the state of Illinois, but for the entire country.
He's crying for an amazing reason.
Kate, right now we will have to see what happens with the appeal, what the timeline for that looks like. I want to point out what the judge said during this hearing yesterday as she was questioning quite aggressively the Department of Justice. And what she said was that she felt like the chemical agents that were deployed against protesters and members...
Why is he crying? Well, I'm just going to take a guess, but like, keep in mind, ICE is super unpopular. I'm going to guess that guy's probably not favorable towards ICE, and he's seen his city slowly encroached by this militant occupying force of Hitlerite federal agents, and this is like the first big legal step that's been taken against them and their power. Maybe he's a sentimental guy. It's probably been like a hard road, especially considering the fact that, I guarantee you this is the case, any high-profile litigation being directed against ICE is getting met with some very, like, behind-the-scenes threats. There is no fucking way that guy has not had conversations with the Department of Homeland Security sometime in the past 2 weeks.
of the press were indiscriminate. They appeared arbitrary. And then finally, she said, there is just nothing to prove that there is actually a rebellion inside the United States. These were, basically the core reasons that she decided that the National Guard would fall under this temporary restraining order. And she was issuing, again, this partial ruling that gives a major win to Illinois leaders here, Kate.
And also, Whitney, quite something to see the Attorney General there overcome with emotion as they were talking about this. And
yeah, no kidding. Not just that either. Illinois judge blocks federal authorities from using force against Chicago journalists. It's really ramping up. I'm telling you, man, the more ICE oversteps, the more easy they make it for local courts to smack down on them. And the more the courts do that, the more difficult it's going to be for ICE to act without flipping those rules. And if they do, eventually they are going to get arrested. I do not think that point is close. I think because like the moment ICE agents start getting arrested for behavior they engage in on the job, that will direct the attention of the entire Republican Party, the president, everyone, at not just that city, but also the individual police officer who brings them in. So, like, it's going to take cops with some unbelievably serious fucking cojones to attempt this, even. We're talking death threats, arson. I mean, like, it's going to be brutal. And they're all aware of that. Can a cop arrest a Fed? Yes, absolutely. What if ICE responds with lethal force? Like shooting the cops who come to arrest them, then that would like actually lead to the local police would not allow that to happen. The ICE is a bunch of like federal belligerents. Local police outnumber them massively. That would be the end of ICE there. It would be like a gang war that would end in the police's victory. But I don't think that would happen. That would be insane. There are far, far, far more police in Chicago than there are federal agents. ICE just kidnapped a Chicago local news producer. Well, that's cool. WGN news editor / producer Debbie Brockman grabbed by Trump's ICE goons, who then intentionally ram a bystander's car as they peel away. Fucking what?
We are at Lincoln and Foster. We are at Lincoln and Foster, and they just took this woman off the street. I am recording it. What is your name? What is your name? Debbie Brockman. I work for WGN. WGN. Debbie Proctor. You know your rights, Kate. Stay silent.
What's your name?
Debbie Brockman, I work for WGN. Let them know.
I got you. Yep.
They'll find out.
Debbie Browning?
Brockman,
WGN. Do you guys want to share your names too, or I'm just going to cover your face?
This is honest. Stop.
Good job.
Seriously, get the fuck out.
Fuck you.
Get out of our
Hopefully your wife and children make it home.
Just really endearing themselves to the local population, you know? As we learned in Iraq and Afghanistan, the agreeability of the local population is really, really essential for long-term occupations. But these guys got it down. They got it. Why do they have the police on their vest? They're not police. Because they're border police. They can put it on their vest. They can do it. They wear scrap equipment. ICE said she threw objects at them. No. Just keep it up. Just keep it up. Just keep it up. She's already been released and was not charged with anything, apparently, according to Twitter. People on Twitter would never lie. Yeah. How much does all this cost? Quite a bit. The police department needs to move like as a unit. No single cop is going to be brave enough to conduct an arrest against an ICE agent. It would be insane. I mean, obviously it wouldn't be one. It'd be like a team of them. It'd be like 3 or 4 at minimum. But yeah, they need to operate as a block and then prepare for like a siege. Back the blue? I'm back in the blue. I mean, maybe some won't understand the ramifications. You just need to find the most stupid, not politically aware cops there are and be like, hey, these are some masked gang members operating over here at this intersection. You need to go over and arrest them. And they're like, okay. And they just have no idea what they're in for. That would be pretty fucking funny. So Philly cops. All right, Zug. Okay. Back to work. Sam Cedar encourages more protesters wear ridiculous costumes like the frog and chicken dudes. I agree. It makes a complete mockery of the narrative. I completely agree. I think sometimes lefties get really in their head about how like revolution has to be, it has to look like the one painting of the French Revolution, or like Soviets, you know, everyone looks serious and you can see starvation in their cheek lines and stuff. And it's like, no, it hasn't been like that in a long time, you know? It really does make ICE look unserious to see videos of them backing up when there's like a big frog man walking towards them. Yeah, I agree. If anything, you don't want to look serious, okay? It's not like we're on the precipice of leftism overtaking fascism or whatever. What we're really talking about is prompting liberal institutions in this country to reject fascism. And what that means is that you do have to play the optics game. In this case, it should be easy because ICE agents are the worst people on earth. They are the worst human beings alive. So, looking better than them is pretty damn easy. All I'm talking about is amplifying the perceived contrast, you know? To be fair, a lot of that is looking at history with rosy lenses. 100%. I guarantee you, I guarantee you that like in the French and American revolutions and stuff like that, there were people present with goofy signs and like ladies with their tits out and stuff. I'm sure it took place in a different way, like the vibe was different, but I guarantee you that in the context of the era, there were people there where people were like rolling their eyes going like, come on, what are you doing? Yeah, the Boston Tea Party. I'm sure the French Revolution was silly all around.